Alright. Alright, we are set. Hey guys, this is Shanna Hubbard of Razor Edge Productions. I'm here with Jerry Davis. Hi Jerry, how are you?
Shanna, I'm doing great. I'm glad that you're here today, and I want to give a big shout out to Razor Edge Productions for being able to be here today. I know your schedule is busy.
Yes sir,
I sure
it is.
appreciate you being here.
No problem. Well, we're here at the granddaddy of dirt, Nevada Speedway. I have a lot of memories here. I know a lot of people do. This place has been around since the 60s, correct?
It opened in '63, so
That's quite some time for one establishment.
it is. Nevada Speedway has never closed, so it is the longest running dirt track in the state of Missouri.
Okay. Well, here recently, it was brought to my attention, and I kind of know a little bit that you guys currently this year or last year took over this track.
So last year was our first year actually owning it in 2022. We leased the track from the previous owner in 21. So this was year 3 of running the Speedway, year 2 of owning.
Okay. Okay. Well, it looks great. I can't wait for this season. Now, for downtime, is it still as busy as normal with like when you have cars out there and you got the crowd and you got your schedule and?
You know, I thought the off season would slow down just a little bit, but it seems like it's been busy ever since our last race, which is a good thing. It helps the winter go by a little bit quicker. But between scheduling and banquets and meetings, it seems like it keeps you busy. So I'd say it's just as busy as race season.
So it's an all year round type of situation.
It's a year round.
That's great though, but that kind of helps with the upkeep. At least you know you're not going. Oh, you know, I think I'm gonna step back here. Nope, I got stuff to do.
Yes.
So that kind of makes it where you can pinpoint certain things. You know, like I know that you guys have done this VIP area. That you redid it. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
I really wish I could take the camera out there and show people, but they'll just have to come to the track and take a look. You guys painted, you redid stuff, concession stands, I believe, at the beginning of the year. So with that, it kind of brightens it up.
It does.
Makes it pretty.
And we try to find, at least every winter, one little thing to pinpoint to work on. Try not to tackle everything right at once, just baby steps, trying to get something done, so.
Okay. Now, how many classes do you run here?
So the past few years we have ran 6 weekly classes, and I think that is the plan again for this year.
Okay, 6. Now, do you have any specials in mind, maybe? I know it's still pretty early. We are in December, but I'm just kind of curious because this is a local track that I love.
Right.
And I'm wondering, like, the late models, they were really cool last year.
Yes. So there is actually a new late model series that is coming out this year. It is called Revival Dirt Late Model Series, I believe. They are based out of Caney, Kansas, and it's the McGee family. They're great people. They have been discussing about how it seems like super late models have moved out of the area, and in reality they have. So they are working together to come up with a series to bring super late models back into the area. And we are one of the tracks that is joined on for the 2024 season. So we're excited to give them a date here. Nevada Speedway in years past has always been known as a late model track. And they're always fun and exciting to watch here. So we will work with them. Their date, they have not announced it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. That will be on July 6th for our Firecracker special. So late models and fireworks, nothing better than that.
Great combination right there.
Absolutely.
That's exciting news.
Absolutely.
I would definitely want to be here for that day.
Yes.
If anybody doesn't know, like I've said before, there's people that are out of state that watch this and so on and so forth. This is a 4th mile, correct?
4th mile.
Oval track. The banking is, it's really well. I like it in turn 1 and 2 and 3. You get a lot of action in those.
Oh yeah.
And I've watched you guys come out here, and then the way that it circles back around, you got a really good flow from the pits onto the track and then off the track.
Yes.
Now, I did also speak to like Billy Shadden, and he works hand in hand with you. He's got a Tiny Joe's Memorial coming out this season.
Yes. So this will be the third year of having the Tiny Joel's Memorial. Anybody that knows Tiny, he was a great guy. He was involved in racing all of his life. He'd give his shirt off his back to you if you needed it. Super great guy. I always enjoyed visiting with him. This was his home track. Plenty of championships from all over the place. Trying to think of how many championships he had here at Nevada. It was quite a few. But this will be the third annual memorial for him. The date for that is Saturday, April 20th. That is actually going to be opening night here at the Speedway. So what better way to kick off the season than honoring Tiny Joel's. But kudos to Billy. He does an amazing job getting this race put on. I try to help as much as I can, but he is the head honcho of getting this race going. And his goal is to make this race even bigger every year. So I think we had 39 pure stocks last year at it, so that's going to be tough to beat this year. But I believe that we can do it. And everybody had a great time last year at it. You know, it's just a really important race that we need to get out and support. So that is one of the 3 memorial races that we'll have this year.
Well, what's the other 2?
The other 2 that are in the works, Joshua Haynes Memorial. We had the first annual last year. We will be having another memorial for him this year. It will be on Saturday, June 22nd, and it will be a super stock memorial for him. And then the last one will be the Screamin' Lehman Memorial. It'll be the 5th annual. It's hard to believe that we're going on year number 5 with this one. It will be super stocks as well. We do not have a date in place for that one yet. More than likely it will be in September towards the end of the season. So that is one thing that I'm still waiting on hearing to get the schedule posted. So, and like you said, it is only December, but
Yes.
it seems like tracks and series, they start getting their schedules put together.
Once we're down on the season, I see everybody, including race car drivers.
Yes.
They're ready to rock and roll.
Yes.
Track's closed. Okay, it's go time still.
Exactly.
It doesn't ever stop.
Exactly.
Which shows the dedication
It does.
in the sport.
It does.
And that's something I wanted to kind of bring to light with people, is that this is not some stigma kind of sport. These people are dedicated. They work hard.
Yeah.
Put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. And that's including track owners, track promoters, on down to the maintenance crews.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it just, everybody puts so much hard work just to keep it alive.
Everybody plays a part, and it may not seem like it, but if you miss one piece of that puzzle, everything will fall apart. So, like you said, everybody does play a huge part on making these tracks and series go. Going back to that, you know, being a kid, I remember February, March before you'd see schedules posted, and now it's, you know, before Christmas, you got to have that schedule out. There's a lot of work that goes into putting a schedule together. You have to look at all these other local tracks around you, see what specials they're having. You know, obviously you want to work with other tracks. You don't want to try to overlap any specials or anything like that. So that's what we're trying to work on. Things that I'm still hearing before I can get my schedule completely posted. We do plan on having Cash Money late models back this year.
Yay!
For those that haven't heard, they have switched hands. New ownership with that series. So still waiting to hear back from them. I'd like to get one race with them. Shelby Manthe with her non-wing sprint series. They've been out here the last 3 years and they put on a good race every time they're here. So we'll get a race with them. More than likely they'll be back to back with ECS. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But tracks working hand in hand, it's always really beneficial for both parties.
So this Bomber series, this Crown Victorian
Yes.
class, are you participating in that class as well?
We're not going to do the Crown Vic class necessarily. There is a couple of classes we are working with though, and we're going to call it the I-49 Showdown. It will be the mini stock class and the pure stock class. So the goal is to have drivers that want to race both tracks. You will be able to buy into a series, and you will get points for racing at both tracks. And there will be actually a little championship payout for them as well. So you'll have a chance to take home 3 track championships, essentially, well, 2 track championships plus a series championship. So, that's a really good deal for 2 classes working together. It ought to make the racing really exciting and get drivers to support both tracks, hopefully.
Heck yeah. And if, again, I'm going to reiterate, if people don't know, ECS, Electric City Speedway, is located in Butler. And then we've got Nevada, Missouri, Nevada
Right.
Speedway.
Right.
So we're about, 30 minutes
About
from
30
each other.
miles, yeah.
So with that, it's not too much of a travel to go from
No.
one to the other. And that's exciting news. Now, I want to get a little history about you.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That is fine.
I try to talk to people and kind of get an idea on who I'm speaking to. And you said you grew up in the racetrack, around racetracks.
I did.
Okay.
So this is the track that my parents brought me to whenever I was just a little baby. They brought me to Adrian, Pleasanton. They took me to Joplin, but this track in particular is the one that sticks out. Every Saturday we would come here and I would sit down on that front row and I would watch the cars. And nowadays it seems like the younger kids that come here, they don't, let's be honest, a lot of them don't pay attention to the racing. They'll be playing with their friends, but I sat on that front row and I'd watch every race. So I never imagined 20 years later I'd be owning a racetrack, but I'm really thankful for the opportunity. But no, I had some neighbors that raced, and I think whenever my parents moved down to Lamar, I don't even think they knew what dirt track racing was. And we had some neighbors that raced, and they said, well, you should come watch us sometime, and we were hooked ever since. So I think that's a big thing to point out. Even if you've never been to a dirt track race, or you think that's something that wouldn't interest you, come check it out, because it's one of the best things in life.
Absolutely, I always encourage, because a lot of people, I have also talked to people and they've said, well, the cars don't look like they're going that fast. Well, it's because you're watching it on your phone. Unless you are right there watching it in person, they go 10 times faster than what they look like on the phone.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Or on your computer or whatnot. And then on top of that, you get the noise aspect of it and the smell and the whole ambiance of everything. So, which I think is fantastic. Now, were you that kid with the little Hot Wheel car?
Oh yeah,
that was pretending that you were driving
had my
a race
own
car?
little Nevada Speedway right there in my front yard, and we had a sign. Funny story. We had a sign put up that I made, and it said, "Stop Nevada Speedway," meaning people come stop and watch my Hot Wheels, and the neighbor seen that sign and she said, "What does that mean? Stop Nevada Speedway?" She thought it was meaning stop the track, like try to shut the track down.
Oh no!
No, not what that means.
No, that means come watch me race my little Hot Wheels.
Right.
So, also, I want to ask you, have you ever thought about being in a race car, Jerry?
I have rode in an enduro car a couple of times.
Now, how was that? I've drove an enduro.
I know you
only
have.
for a little bit.
I know you have.
But how was it to ride?
I did not mind it. It's honestly pretty fun. I don't know if I'd want to drive a race car or not, but I think being a passenger in enduro is pretty fun, So I'd do it again if I had the chance.
So this enduro series that came,
Yes.
Speaking of which, since we're kind of talking about it, it came up this year, and you coincide with ECS with that.
Yes.
Now, you guys plan on it just getting bigger and bigger and just keep going with it?
We're going to try for year number 2 with that, and we do have the dates posted, so it is on the Summer Enduro Series Facebook page. We have, I believe, about 7 or 8 races at both tracks, just like we normally have. The first one will be on April 12th at Electric City. And we do try to space them out, so we don't have 2 right back-to-back for drivers. So we try to have a week in between each race. Championship race was here at Nevada this past year, and Mike and I have decided to alternate that every year, which I think is great. So the championship race this year will be at ECS, and that will be on October 11th. So yeah, this is a really fun series, We do 100 laps. It'll depend if that stays the same again this year or not. There is some polls out there that we're wanting some drivers' feedback on, but you know, it's just a really fun series. It's very affordable. We have people buying these cars and just coming out and having fun, and that's what it's all about, you know.
Well, it's kind of an inexpensive way to go out there on the track and
Absolutely.
have a blast.
Absolutely.
Now, from your perspective, being up here
Yes.
and seeing all this, is it difficult to keep track of, because I see them going in the mix. You have people passing each other, and I've watched it, and I'm like, man, that has to be hard to keep track of who's where.
So I can
what's
tell
going
you,
on.
I can tell you, here at Nevada, we hardly ever use transponders on normal race nights. We hand score everything. So it does get pretty hectic, you know. You get 20 B mods out there trying to keep track of everybody. But these Enduros, there's no way to do that. So we do use transponders. So, you know, you're just watching kind of to see who goes off the track and who comes back on. But as far as keeping track of where everybody is, no, it's all digital. The transponders.
I can imagine if there was no transponders, that
we would not be doing
right,
it.
right,
or I would not be up here. I would not do it. So, like I said, no, they keep track of everything. And you know, that may be something that we can get in the works to have on regular shows. But you know, hand scoring's worked every year out here. So.
Well, I mean, if it works, then why mess with it?
Right.
So, I am super excited about next season. I think that this I-49 rules package that you guys got going on,
Yes.
you know, I think that that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then also this new late model series that you were talking about. I just recently seen them too.
Yeah.
And that intrigues me. I'm glad that the late models are coming around a little bit more, and there's going to be a little bit more of that. Is there any classes that maybe you have in store now? I do know that you run vintage a lot.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, we're going to play in the same 6 classes every week. Rotating classes, we will have vintage cars. And that class is always fun to watch. It seems to be picking up a little bit. We do have 11 dates for the vintage cars this year. They run almost every other week, depending on how the schedule can fall together. But we do have 11 dates for them. And a couple of other classes that we will be alternating is, I know Mike Parker is doing this as well, 305 winged sprints. They're looking for area tracks to race at, and you know, Mike and I, we were two that said, you know what, we're going to jump on board, try to give these guys a place to race. The dates
They're
that I
fun
have,
to watch.
they are
so much fun to
They are.
watch.
I know last year we had only 4 show up, but they still put on a good show, and it was a Friday night. And you know, depending on where drivers live, Friday nights are tough.
Yes.
They are tough because of work. But I think most of them, or a lot of them, are based out of Kansas City, so Friday nights will work much better at Electric City for them. But the dates that we have at Nevada is May 11th, June 15th, and then September 21st. So, and something else I really like about them is their payout is based on car count. So, you know, you don't have to be sweating bullets if you don't have a lot of cars show up. So, like I said, those are the 3 dates for the wing sprints. And then another class that we are rotating is the Midwest Lightning Sprints. Those guys are fun to watch too. Chastity Younger actually got her first feature win here.
Which,
last
speaking
year,
of that
I
young
believe.
lady,
Yes.
speaking of which, just an FYI heads up, I did contact Chastity, and I'm hoping to sit down with her soon. I'm very, very excited about that. I had spoken to her father at the beginning of 2023 season, maybe towards the end of 22 season, and she broke 3 records in 2022.
That's amazing.
So, yes.
And she's what, maybe 16 years old, if that?
She's a young lady, and,
So,
and
yes.
I just find it to be great, very inspirational. So
It is.
it'll be awesome. I'll be putting out a little something, hopefully, to kind of show what she's done and let people
Yeah.
know when I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah.
So, given that you brought her up, I
Right.
had to put it
No,
out there and let
yes.
people know.
So we do have 5 dates scheduled with them this year. I'll run through those really quick. May 4th, June 15th, July 13th, August 3rd, and then their final date will be on September 14th. So those are the 5 dates that we'll have lightning sprints here. They're a great group to work with too. They put on a very fast and efficient show. I mean, their feature's done in 5 to 6 minutes, you know. So I mean, and that's something that people kind of gripe about sometimes is, oh, too many classes. Well, okay, but when a class only takes 5 minutes to run, you know, we can get through them pretty quick. So,
right, and you can't help the you know, the breaks and the and the wrecks.
No,
it's
just gonna happen.
So like that saying, shit happens. It does. It just happens. You can't help it.
No, there's a lot of things you can't control that happen out there, you know, and it'll slow down the show a little bit, but you know, our tow truck guys, they do a great job. Fire, they do a great job too. You know, and just going back, I appreciate everybody that has worked out here. It may not seem like a lot to the person, but like I said, a big jigsaw puzzle, one piece is missing, it'll show. So I appreciate everybody that works out here and dedicates their time, because you know, that's tough to do every single week of the summer, because people like to get out and do stuff. So to be able to dedicate your time to a track, you know, even on Friday nights or Saturday night, whatever night the track races, to be able to dedicate your time, it really shows that you love our sport and it doesn't go unnoticed.
So I want to also kind of touch base on one other thing. Before you acquired ownership of this track, you did photography, and that's something else that your mother does as well.
Yes.
And I see Miss Norma out in the middle of the track, which, by the way, folks, she's in the building. She just doesn't want to talk. But she does the photography out here, and sometimes she's filled in at ECS occasionally.
Yeah.
The dedication that you guys have is phenomenal. You were in photography before that, and you still kind of somewhat do.
Sometimes. So I started the photography out here in 2015 was my first year. You know, as my best friend Lisa Burlington, I did the same thing she did. We had a little point and shoot camera, and we'd take from the stands. And then in 15, the opportunity came up, and I said, you know, I'm gonna give this a try. So I did the photography out here in 15, 16, and part of 2017. And then a situation came up, and I started working up here in the Crow's Nest. That's kind of where I've been ever since. So I really enjoy it, you know. I mean, you have to enjoy what you do.
Absolutely.
So, and then worked in the Crow's Nest from the rest of 17 to 2020, and then that's when we was approached on running the Speedway in 21. So that's what we did.
I bet that was pretty exciting.
It was a pretty big step, you know. Do we want to do this or not? And we decided we want to give this a try, and
couldn't let it go to
no.
You can't go to the wayside.
No.
This place has been around for so long. It would be devastating.
It would.
It really would.
It deserves to stay open, and that's what we're doing. You know?
You have diehard fans that come here every week.
Yeah.
That have been raised here, or raised their kids here, have their grandkids here,
right.
So on and so forth.
Right. 30 degrees or 100 degrees, they're going to be.
Oh, right. You know, it's going to be 30 degrees. Let's grab our hoodies and our blankets, and I got one just dedicated just for the racetrack and that type of thing. So, and then you also have the consistent drivers. You have the drivers that are here, that are locally or right outside of town, that will come through because this is the track that they love.
Yeah.
Their fans are here, their family's here, they've always raced here. Speaking of the memories, I'm going to give a little tidbit, just a little bit, because I do have I have Brayton Skaggs sitting down with my husband, Kenneth Hubbard. When Kenny started racing, we came here approximately, halfway through his first year.
2021,
yes,
I believe.
Yes. And we started racing here. And this place always has a soft spot. I always have this soft spot for this place because not only did he start here, but he proposed here.
Yes.
Right, like in this, where we're sitting, this is where he proposed. So, with that, I've always loved this track, and we came here before that as well.
Yes.
Step in the VIP and watch the cars, watch the drivers. I think it was in 2020 or 2019. and we would sit up here and watch, and you guys would be down there,
Right,
you know,
right.
taking the photos, and
Right.
and we'd go down the pits and try to talk to people, and yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
it's an amazing place.
Yeah.
And I really hope that this place sticks around for another 50 years.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's just so much history. I mean, one person can't even wrap their heads around how much history has gone on here. I mean, since '63. I mean,
That's a long time.
long time. A lot of history, a lot of drivers, a lot of people. So.
That's phenomenal. I mean, is there any other track in the area that's been around this long?
Now, I'm pretty sure Nevada is the longest dirt track that has been going. I do know Monette opened late 60s, early 70s. I mean, I think they're the second track that is
And they were
raced.
consistently open as well?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know, that
Okay.
track has never shut down either.
Okay,
So.
okay. So, and they're down there by Springfield.
Yes.
So, when we talk about vicinity, that's a, you know, that's not just right next door.
No.
That's a little bit of ways. But also, another thing I wanted to talk about, and I seen it at this track this year, and this is nothing new to a lot of people, but it is to me. I seen this incentives that you guys were doing for drivers, hats and shirts and stuff like that. They were getting certain things.
Yes.
That's remarkable. I love it.
Yes.
I think it's great. What was that exactly?
So that was it's called the Contingency Connection. They reach out to local tracks that they just want to give back to the drivers. You know, they give out hats and free banners and koozies and gift certificates to different manufacturer companies. They even give out booklets that have like $5,000 worth of savings total in them. So I mean, huge.
Wow.
The only track that I know of that does that closest to us is Valley Speedway in Green Valley. I know that they are of the connection as well. So look forward to doing that again this year. You know, they really give back to the drivers, and that's what it takes to get these drivers out here. Because I know Kenny knows just as well as all the others, this is not a cheap sport whatsoever, and it costs a lot. You have to love what you're doing, or otherwise you wouldn't be doing it.
Right. And people have their heart in this. So this is definitely something that is loved, and I really appreciate you guys sitting down with me. If there's any more information that you may have that we
Sure.
haven't quite touched base on.
Sure. So some other big dates that are coming out on the schedule. We will be practicing in March, just like we always do. April 6th is a Saturday. I talked to Mike Parker a while back. He said he might be doing something on that day. So if he is, obviously I don't want to step on any toes. So if he does do something, I'll take that day off and we will practice that Sunday, the day after. So waiting to see what they do on the 6th because I don't want to step on any toes. First race will be April 13th. That will be the ASCS Warrior Sprints. Whatever support classes they decide to have, that will not be for any kind of points. And like I said, the opening night will technically be April 20th with the 3rd annual Tiny Joel's Memorial. All classes will be racing for points that night except for the pure stock class. June 8th is Bushwhacker Weekend here in Nevada. We try to have a special every year for that. ASCS, Warrior, and the Sooner Region Sprints will be conjoining that night. Already hit on June 22nd will be the 2nd annual Josh Haynes Memorial. And then July 6th, the Revival Late Model Series. So just waiting on a couple of more things before I can get the schedule set in stone. The goal is to have that out before Christmas. So I'll be reaching out to these people that I still need to hear from and hopefully get that schedule out there.
Yeah, we have talked about the Tiny Joels. We have talked about the Screaming Lehman. I have with people. One that we have not talked about was Josh Haynes. Now, I knew Josh Haynes. I met Josh Haynes when my husband was first starting to race. Same with my husband. They were friends. They would call each other on the phone. Remarkable fella.
Oh yeah.
So if anybody is interested or wants to come to support that, that would be phenomenal as well. He was a solid guy, volunteer firefighter, just all around pretty cool man.
Absolutely.
Would help you out with anything. Quite comical guy. He liked to joke a lot. So if anybody wants to come out and support that as well, I mean, they've got some good memorial races coming up, going for a good cause.
Absolutely.
These people were very remarkable.
Absolutely.
So, is there anybody you want to particularly thank or anything like that? Because I think we're going to probably have to hop off here before long.
Okay, so I do want to thank all of the sponsors that did sponsor this year. I don't have a list in front of me, but anybody that gave this year, you know, if they have a billboard out here or not, I appreciate everybody that has jumped on. Even for these memorial races last year, if you have donated any money toward anything, not only me, but everybody appreciates it. Class sponsors, I appreciate you guys as well. Foxy's Bodies, you guys sponsored the vintage cars. H3 Graphics, Joe Cummings up in Rich Hill. He moved.
Yes.
I caught myself.
Yes.
He has moved to Fort Scott, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He has.
Fort Scott. He has sponsored the B mods the last couple of years. I appreciate that. Gabriel Roofing down in Lamar, Midwest Mod class sponsor. And then our Outlaw class, Pro Drain Septic, and Rocky's Tree Service. They've been on board a couple of years. I appreciate that as well. With that being said, we do have Pure Stocks and Mini Stocks. Those classes are open this year. If you would like to sponsor one of those, definitely get with me. Also, the Super Stock class, D3 Racing Supplies, Trey Dowdy up in Butler. Appreciate you, man, for sponsoring. We couldn't do it without any of you guys. So, like I said, same 6 classes. We're going to plan on racing. As far as I'm concerned, the Power I classes will be Power I again this year. Super Stocks more than likely will be Power I. Just kind of waiting to see what other local tracks do with that class. There's some issues going on, I think, a little bit there, but just waiting to see what other tracks do and kind of go from there. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Jerry, I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Shauna, for coming down here.
No problem. I hope this gave some information where there wasn't any information yet or anything like that. Y'all got a heads up on what's to come at the Granddaddy of Dirt. So, Mr. Jerry Davis and Norma in the building too. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching.